2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday the 28th of February, and it's Tooth Fairy Day. And a big happy birthday to Stephanie Beecham, John Turturro, Ainsley Harriott and Lara Hines-Gray. Russian forces continued their attacks on Ukraine overnight with shelling of the northern city of Kyiv and renewed attacks on Kyiv and Kharkiv. Kyiv has now been surrounded by Russian troops, and President Zelensky says the next 24 hours is crucial, but that Kyiv remains under Ukrainian control. It's expected that troops from Belarus may join the Russian attack, even as peace talks are scheduled to take place on the Belarus-Ukraine border later on Monday. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba says the assault on Kyiv is the worst attack it's seen since World War II.
Kyiv was bombed heavily, which was the worst moment for Ukraine's capital since 1941, when it was bombed by Nazi Germany. And it's remarkable, I have to say, how President Putin's actions remind and follow the pattern of Adolf Hitler.
As Russian losses mount and pressure grows on the Russian banking system as the ruble crashes because of sanctions, and under pressure Vladimir Putin responded by raising the alert level of his nuclear forces.
I ordered the Minister of Defense and the Chief of General Staff to put deterrent forces of the Russian army on special combat standby duty.
The weekend saw activity from the US, the UK and the EU, all aimed at punishing Russian aggression and supporting the Ukrainian defensive effort. Ursula von der Leyen announced that certain Russian banks would be removed from the SWIFT banking system, and that the EU would also directly purchase and send weapons to the Ukrainian forces. She also had news on Russian flights across Europe.
We are shutting down the EU airspace for Russians. These aircraft will no more be able to land in, take off, or overfly the territory of the European Union.
Germany also announced that it would send weapons and boost defence spending, while oil giant BP announced that it was selling its stake in Russian oil company Rosneft. Meanwhile, the US announced the $350 million military aid package, and White House spokesperson Jen Psaki says there's more help to come.
In addition, we'll continue to provide a range of humanitarian assistance. I would note that the sanctions that we announced yesterday put Russia on par with Iran. We have now also sanctioned 80% of their banks and their financial sector. As
President Putin escalated the status of his nuclear defence forces, UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss had words of warning.
The International Criminal Court has already said that they're looking at what is happening in Ukraine. And if I was a senior Russian official, or indeed the president, I would be very wary of taking further steps.
As the war continues, a humanitarian crisis is unfolding, largely at the Polish border as women and children flee to safety. Boris was promising that Britain would do its part to offer assistance to refugees, and announced an additional £40 million in humanitarian aid.
The UK is way out in front in our willingness to help with refugees. We've sent 1,000 troops to the theatre to be ready to help with the influx, and of course we will help people fleeing in fear of their lives.
However, the UK has not yet waived visa requirements for Ukrainians who don't have family members in the UK, and Labour's Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy says the government needs to move quickly and provide a simple system.
We said there should be a safe sanctuary scheme. The vast majority will want to settle in Poland or Hungary, in neighbouring countries, but there are some who will want to make their way to our country, and we should have a generous scheme that's simplified, similar to the one that we set up after the Balkans, or indeed the one that we have for Hong Kong nationals.
The United States saw the Conservative Political Action Conference this weekend. CPAC, which was on in Florida, saw former President Donald Trump speak. He was asked about Ukraine and his earlier comments that Vladimir Putin was smart and a genius, and Trump being Trump, he doubled down and criticised the NATO countries' response to the crisis.
They're looking the opposite of smart. If you take over Ukraine, we're going to sanction you, they say. Sanction? Well, that's a pretty weak statement. Putin is saying, oh, they're going to sanction me. They sanctioned me for the last 25 years. You mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me?
Still to come on the Smart 7, Liverpool triumph at Wembley, and the Screen Actors Guild Awards produces some surprising winners. Right after this. Welcome back. 3,
Sunday saw Liverpool face Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley. Chelsea entered the game with their ownership in doubt as Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich announced he would hand the club over to the Chelsea Charity Foundation as pressure mounts on Russian assets around the globe. The game went to penalties and Liverpool's young goalkeeper Quivin Kelleher was the star of the show, saving one and scoring the winner as it finished 11-10 to give Liverpool their first win at Wembley in 10 years.
It's a mad one. I thought I'd save one. I didn't. I got close to a few, and then when it came down to me, I didn't even think I scored the winning penalty. I forgot we actually, I scored the winning one. So now, listen, all the penalties from the lads were class, so I was just happy to score.
It's a big week for final seasons, with the last season of Peaky Blinders beginning on Sunday, and tonight the fourth and final season of Killing Eve starts. Fiona Shaw and Sandra Oh popped up on The One Show to talk about the finale and the strange paths their characters have been on across the show.
But I thought we'd always be knocking around together, and in fact the series has exploded that, and particularly I think in this fourth series they all go on these extraordinary adventures. It is a bit like
But we're always linked.
We're always
linked.
linked.
No matter what, we're always linked, and I think the three of us...
Yes, we meet again, of course,
yes,
after a certain murder, surprisingly, and so, or during a murder. So there's a bit of murder, and we do meet around parts of the world.
The Screen Actors Guild, or SAG Awards, took place on Sunday night in Santa Monica, California. It was a night of surprises, with Troy Kotsur picking up Outstanding Supporting Actor for his work in def drama Coda, which was also the winner for Outstanding Cast. Netflix saw Squid Game stars Lee Jung-jae and Ho Young-jung win Best Actor awards for TV drama. Succession and Ted Lasso both picked up awards for ensemble casts. The biggest surprise of the evening saw Will Smith pick up his first award for Best Man in a Leading Role for King Richard, and he revealed that Venus and Serena really made him sweat before he gained their seal of approval.
Venus, Serena, the Williams family, you entrusted me and our group with your story. You didn't agree to put your name on it till you saw the final project. I agree. I get that. You know, it's cool. That's real. That's real because we be messing stuff up sometimes.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.